time off from his very, very busy schedule and being with us and always being supportive of what we do. We thank Ms. Nandini Sahay and International Center for always being the best host that we've ever had and making it pleasurable in the evening for everybody to have a good time as well. And of course Arjun Halankar. Thank you for being here and thank you to the media as well. Thank you.
We start the first technical session of this seminar, and the theme of this session is why intrastate conflicts are more and protracted in South Asia. May I request Mr. Gautam Sen to start with this presentation.
My name is Gautam Sen. This is my 50th year of my professional life. I've been in the Indian Army for 15 years, professional researcher in the American schools for another 10 years, 32 years in the University of Pune heading the Department of Defense and Strategic Studies. I also created the National Center for Strategic Studies. I also dabbled in education, so I became the Director General of the Indian Institute of Education for 5 years and also the Managing Trustee. Presently, I am affiliated to the Latin American Studies Center in Goa University and an adjunct professor at NIAS, that is National Institute of Advanced Studies in Bangalore. That should be enough, sir?
That's enough.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I, Mr. Chairman, with your permission? Time is short, so I will rush through. There is 15 minutes time to deliberate on it. I think even in the serious conglomerate, we should not lose sight of humor. Stephen Hawking once told me a joke. He said it was a fact. The Royal Society invited a very eminent person to give a talk. And it became so boring and so vociferous that one of the participants took out a pistol and started brandishing it. So the speaker was petrified. So this fellow said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to shoot you. I'm going to shoot the man who invited you." So if you want to shoot, you know whom to shoot. Without much ado, Mr. Chairman and friends of Southern Asian region, I have prefixed my talk with this metaphor because I'm more comfortable with the term Southern Asia rather than South Asia. War, conflict and violence are cultural phenomena. There are no technical solutions to it. Only the strategic analysis is the route to understand such problems and provide solutions. I've used the term strategic analysis for a particular purpose. In the end, if time permits, I heard somebody talking about the Operation Blue Star yesterday at the dinner time. I'll give an example as to how strategic analysts look at a phenomena which occurred in the Indian subcontinent called Blue Star, as compared to what event analysis shows in a different way. Provided I have time, we can take it up in the time when we have the question answer form. The focus of the 3-day meeting is intrastate conflict and why intrastate conflicts have been more protracted in South Asia. I will therefore rationalize the primacy of strategic analysis. I want to convert all of you to do more strategic analysis than event analysis in future. I am a strategic analyst and not a defense analyst. And therefore, Nitin Gokhale is not here today. He is the only person who knows me. Most of you have never seen me, heard of me, or even worked with me. There is a joke, running joke in amongst my European colleagues that when Sen is not in Pune, He is in Paris, but not in Delhi. Delhi, like all metro cities and capitals of the world, is the home of defense, diplomatic, journalistic, and political analysis, and I have never been a part of it. However, our conglomerate of defense strategic analysis is very small. It's a bunch of about 500 people around the world. We are quantitative methodologists, and our advice is sought by most governments of the world. We are the backroom workers. We are never in front of a TV camera. Strategic analysis involves, I have divided into 4 parts: the preamble, followed by the definition part of it, followed by observation, and lastly the analysis. And I'll try to keep it within the limit of 15 minutes, Mr. Chair. Strategic analysis involves the conceptualization of power of a nation state by calculating the vitality of a nation, which emanates from its capacity to securitize the non-strategic dimensions of security, that is ecology, environment, pollution, energy, rights of the unborn on one side, and factoring the cultural and the civilizational preconditions to safeguard national interest and core values. Therefore, according to me, strategic analysis is policy relevant and not policy oriented. Strategic analysis is to provide policy alternatives and not give policy directives. Strategic analysis is hence more holistic, less biased and partisan, and have a built-in ethical as well as philosophical rationale in its approach, deliberation, as well as conceptualization to find solutions to political, economic, military, and cultural problems leading to stability and peace. Therefore, intra-state conflicts of any dimension, whether protracted or otherwise, becomes the serious business of strategic analysis and cannot be merely looked into through the conceptual lens of defense, diplomacy, journalistic, or political analysis. As this entails interdisciplinary methodology and interdependence of disciplines to have a theoretical framework and understand the complexities of intrastate conflict, there is a need to be guided by explicit understanding of the terms that are used. Lastly, as a strategic analyst, I do not believe in taking any side or profess any preferences or advocate any perception, but merely provide the means for the unit of analysis to protect the core values and national interest. Secondly, I would like to indicate that the necessity to study the organic relationship of factors contributing to intrastate conflict occurring within the states and as to how center-state relationship is to be analyzed becomes very, very important. Third, how failure of governance, reduction of human values, and rapid reduction of economic development have reduced the pace of human development due to intrastate conflicts in the region as a whole. Fourth, even case studies and factors contributing to explain intrastate conflicts cannot be isolated as unique to the problem of a nation state comprising the geographical region of Southern Asia. The nation states are thus interrelated and interdependent. Fifthly, the region has been a major economic continuity for over 1,000 years, till it was cut off arbitrarily by the British Raj by the imposition of political borders. Some definitions. First, as I said, I'm not very comfortable with the term South Asia. The countries in that geographical area, the term is Western in origin, created by the geopolitical rationale of the superpowers, more as a part of extending a containment doctrine against India in particular and the region in general, facilitating China to emerge as a major actor and a unit of analysis in the balance of power game. That's why I'm not very comfortable with the term South Asia. Second, conflict analysis has to be done with the entire region as a unit of analysis. Therefore, Southern Asia becomes a unit of analysis in which nation states within it can be analyzed as being interdependent and yet remain independently sovereign, autonomous actors, free from political or alliance pressures or pressures to conform to the outside region's hegemonic aspirations. This would allow the nation states within the region to architect their own destiny. Third, the nation states of Southern Asia have a commonality of culture, religion, civilizational precondition. Hence, there exists a certain common civilizational consciousness dating back to 1,000 years. Fourth, the term hegemonic status or aspirations to become one has never been professed consciously or propagated as a policy objective by any one of the countries of the Southern Asian region. Fifth, and lastly, China is definitely working to achieve the status of a major power, though it is yet doubtful whether it will really surpass the economic power of the United States in the next 30 years. However, China's strategic goals are definitely to dominate. This leads to the following observations. One, while securitizing South Asian architecture of power, there has been a flaw in defining the region, which is Sino-centric, aimed to contain not only the nation states therein, but particularly India, as I have indicated earlier. India is attempting to grow out of this prism, and one can see the inclusion of Afghanistan and Myanmar in this region to include all the countries below the Himalayas. A new nomenclature has evolved in the international relations, and that is neighboring countries. A new variable to discuss the conflict zone in terms of notion is categorized by some people like Muni, who say the prangs of proximity. With this contention that there are two issues. When one is talking about India's neighborhood, first, India's security is coterminous with the region, and then he goes on to say that regions can be redefined every time. And second, which can be redefined from time to time. Over the extended period of time, it has been observed that India and others in this region have a lot of intractable conflicts which spill over intra-state conflicts and vice versa. Strategic analysis, therefore, and this is the role that the media must play, are therefore asking the question that given the vitality of the Indian nation state and its potential to power and power projection, is India in a position, or should India lead from this region? The last word is even more important, should India lead? So far, the issues of intrastate conflicts have been protracted, but with the present world situation and the emerging new world order, if at all there is a new world order which is emerging, one has to seriously consider three things propounded by Joseph Nye. That there will be unipolarity at military level, multipolarity will emerge at economic, financial and monetary level, and there will be considerable chaos in the different geographical regions globally because of the non-state actors' participation in governance, terrorism, health, human rights, and other non-traditional security aspects. In other words, there will be a little bit of imbalance there. One will hence see a paradigm shift to what Edward Luttwak has labeled as a shift from geopolitics to geoeconomics. On 4th of November 2011, Kissinger and company got together in the Council on Foreign Relations with the Aspen Institute and stated that financialization of major geographical region will be part of the new world order. What it means is that the above indicates that a major threat to intrastate conflict to be further perpetuated, that is, if finances are arranged or can be arranged, financialization. That even conflicts at grassroots level, intrastate level, will continue to occur unabated. Therefore, it leads to the analysis. In imperial days, the political division of India into presidency, provinces, states and agencies were made to act as fire breaks against any intrastate violence to emerge. This was one of the main reasons for differential development in various parts of the Indian nation state and has perpetuated even today. The British did so to create an artificial construct to suit the imperial needs and interest. Therefore, the mother causality of all this was hardening of fire breaks by the British, hardening of international borders, and lastly, isolating further one region from the other. Though the term intra-state has been defined in the concept note of this seminar to represent as conflict with arms within states of nation state, in larger context, it also covers armed conflict across nation state, perpetuated by locals as well as non-state actors migrating from outside such states and nation states. Hence, it is a dangerous situation confronting the sovereignty and integrity of the nation state. Biggest threat to Southern Asia is the level of violence that it has experienced historically. Communal violence at the time of partition in 1947. All the Indo-Pak wars till date, Indo-China War of 1962, evolution of Bangladesh, morbid fear of Pakistan of India, and therefore compulsion to interfere in Afghanistan. Without understanding these three major historical facts, the full or total comprehension of the level of violence and their interrelationship in the subcontinent cannot be understood. Also, it is important to note that Southern Asia has been a major economic continuity, as I have observed before, for 1,000 years, cut off arbitrarily by the imposition of political borders. Even presently, the level of the use of force by governments of the nation states have gone up. Conflicts is arising because of poor governance, disrespect to human values, potential to reduce rapid economic development, reduction of the current pace of human development, and crisis of identity. 5 factors. Hence, it is the need of the hour to talk, and I hope that this will be talked in the rest of the 2.5 days that we are here. Differential developments, differential prosperity, differential human development indices. All of the above is due to poor governance. It is here we have to start discussing the root cause if we wish to understand the genesis of intra-state conflict in Southern Asia and at all levels, and why intra-state conflicts have had a tendency to become protracted in amongst the Southern Asian states. Thank you.
May I now request our friend from Pakistan, Mr. Mohsin Babar. I think you have a PowerPoint presentation. I have his little bit of resume. Let me just read it out. Mr. Mohsin Babar holds a master's degree in mass communication and sound knowledge of various issues ranging from political, social to economic issues. He has expertise in areas related to water and power and also reached on Pakistan-related interstate and intrastate water concerns. He is widely travelled and he maintains wide range of contacts with key stakeholders at grassroots, government, development sector, media, parliamentarians, bureaucracy, legislators, and almost everybody. He is also invited a different TV talk show in Pakistan as expert on various issues. Mr. Babar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daya, and thank you very much, FPS India, for inviting us here to give you our opinion about how intra-state conflicts media is reporting in Pakistan. And I have a case present here, which is Sindh-Punjab water dispute, which is more than 150 years old dispute, is still unresolved. So I'll be making a presentation on this topic. Can I have? Starting with a positive note, recently you have been reading and watching trade ties between two countries, and this is the hope. I believe the only hope, in my opinion, that both the countries, the people can contact each other, and when business interests and economic interests are there, there's less chance of conflicts, new conflicts, maybe armed conflicts, and between these two countries in this region. And we have Aman Ki Asha as well. Two media groups of both the countries have started to run a campaign called Aman Ki Asha. This is a very positive thing, I believe. Times of India, in India, and Jung Group, a very big Jung Group, you must have heard about the group, that they have started to run a campaign since last 3-4 years, Aman Ki Asha. And these both very groups, especially Jung Group, has not been very India friendly in last many years. It is an old group, but they have started to do something positive as a policy matter. But let's see and hope how they go ahead further. my topic would be, as I told you, it's about case of Sindh Punjab water dispute. It's more than 150 years old water dispute, and I've been reporting on this issue since last 20 years as representing media from Sindh, and this is very integral part for a reporter to know about what the water issue is. So it's very important. Otherwise, you know, it's a problem for any reporter to join as a reporter in Islamabad, is the capital city of Pakistan, and if you don't know about water issues, so it is one of the criteria for most of the Sindhi media that if you know something about water issue, you can report and we can depute you at Islamabad station. So this will be my topic, and this is a brief profile of Pakistani media, how it is. Then
One slide left.
no, the same. Oh, this one, yes, thank you.
Sorry, Musin, keep the time factor in mind.
Yes, sir. This is the electronic media profile of Pakistan. More than 50 TV channels, including entertainment, and we have 15 to 20 news media channels. And Sheikh Rashid, former information minister, very recently said in a TV interview that news media and electronic media is more profitable than the entertainment. So news is entertainment, talk show is entertainment nowadays in Pakistan. So then we have electronic media is booming. It's a new phenomenon. In Pakistan, electronic media is very new. 10 years old, it has gone into the stage from infancy to just it started to walk. So this is very new and transforming as well. And then we have almost 78 licenses issued by PEMRA, which is the authority to regulate electronic media in Pakistan, and lending rights to 28 TV channels, foreign channels, and 129 FM stations, more than 2,500, around 500 cable TV system, because in Pakistan, the major consumers receive TV stations and watch TVs through cable TVs, wired cable TV stations here. Like here in India, it's cable TV, DTH maybe, direct to home, like Airtel and Dish TV and everything. But in Pakistan, it's 98% it's about cable TV. And then we have two multi-channel, multi-point distribution services started very recently by PTCL. It's again same like DTH in Pakistan. It's a new phenomenon, and again 2 mobile licenses as well. This is about print media in Pakistan. There is no enough research is done in Pakistan about media content analysis, media trends, state of media in Pakistan. You will hardly find any good research by any academic or non-government institution or government institution. So how media is behaving in Pakistan. So this is the area we are looking to do some research and see how media is behaving. And these are some of the numbers. Now I tell you, in Pakistan there are 2 kind of media in language. One is Urdu, and 3 kind of media. English very few. I mean, coverage is not more than 1 to 2%. And we have Urdu media, coverage is around 70%, more than 70%. And then we have Sindhi media. So 3 language media in Pakistan. In Sindh, almost because of the medium of instruction is Sindhi. That's why Sindhi media is very strong word. Almost more than 90%. 98%, 95 to 98% people depend upon Sindhi media, both print and electronic. The electronic media is still transforming. I told you it's not more than 10 to 12 years old. Then we have quality content is always a problem. Breaking news, standards of breaking news, structure and everything. No trainings, no formal training, sensationalism, as we have been witnessing here in some other parts of the world. Sensationalism, breaking news, talk shows is the most popular thing in Pakistan in these days. And rating of TV channels is based on how consumers watch talk shows. This is the only criteria in Pakistan how they rate talk shows and TV channels. So this is Sindh Punjab water dispute I was talking about. Basically, I wanted to give you the background of the media. That's why how to see how they report in Punjab water conflict. This is the oldest dispute in South Asia, possibly. I'm not aware others to water dispute. more than, it started in 1859 between both states, Punjab and Sindh, and still under, in Pakistan now after partition, now we have two provinces, two states, Sindh and Punjab, and it's still unresolved in my opinion. And every day, every second day, third day, you will see stories in media about this conflict. If you Google it, you will see lots of hits and lots of results on this dispute, this conflict, water dispute. And a number of agreements made between these two provinces. First formal agreement was made between two parties was before partition in 1945, when both the provinces, states come to an agreement, but it was never implemented because Pakistan established and again it went. And then we have Indus Basin Water Treaty, though it was between two countries, but lots of states behind of these Sindh province and Punjab province. In my opinion, it's a professional opinion, that was a treaty between two provinces of India and Pakistan, two Punjabs of India and Pakistan, and not between two states in the country. Because 90 and 95% of the states and profits you can see for both the Punjabs of India and Pakistan. The Kashmir province in Kashmir state in India, they don't have any stake in it, and then Sindh, there was no stakes from in this water treaty. Sindh province lost around 13 million acre feet of water after Indus Basin Water Treaty in 1960, and again we have to follow it later in spirit. But again, there is different view on Pakistan-India water treaty, but because I'm focusing on Sindh-Punjab water dispute, so it's still underway. Then we have a water record of 1991, when the Nawaz Sharif was Prime Minister in 1991. 4 provinces and 5th was the stakeholder was the central government, and they reached to a conclusion to an agreement which is called Water Record 1991. Still, some provinces have some serious objections of some of the points of this agreement, but again, this is the only document we have which is reached to agreement between 4 provinces and the central government. I have learned that there is some water disputes in India as well between 2 states, maybe Karnataka and another state here, but it is resolved by our Supreme Court of India. But in Pakistan, there is a regulatory authority dealing with these issues. And we have not more than 4 to 5 journalists in Pakistan who is reporting water issues in Pakistan. So there is not much awareness and education about what the water issue is and what kind of, how to report these kind of conflicts. I mean, if you are a journalist, you need to be unbiased and report these issues. But unbiasedness is the problem in Pakistan. You can do this. It's very difficult. You can hardly find any reporter who are there who is reporting unbiasedly. And then we have Kalabagh Dam controversy. As a plan in the 80s, started by the then government, and they wanted to build a Kalabagh Dam on River Indus, and upstream of River Indus. But it's a very serious controversy in these days. Every government, from Ziaul to People's Party to Nawaz Sharif, wanted to build this dam, but due to serious conflict in Pakistan, no government started to build it, started to work on it. And very recently, in previous regime, General Musharraf started a massive campaign with media to actually appease, to satisfy people of Sindh, the lower part of Pakistan, to build Kalabagh Dam, but it failed. So look at the media power, and media started this controversy. Sindh media has a different opinion, and then Punjab media has different opinion. The mainstream media has different opinion. And how media is reporting this issue? It's all mainstream media versus vernacular, means the Urdu media and the Sindhi media. There is almost war going on in Pakistan to report this issue. And then we have one-sided version by both. If Punjab media or Urdu media in Punjab reports water issue, they have their opinion, they have their own opinion, but they don't generally, they don't consider opinion of the other party. Similarly, as Sindhi media, mainly, generally, they give their own opinion and build opinions of its people, of its audience. And then we have partisan reporting, of course, in this issue. Partisan reporting, partisan reporting. No formal trainings of reporters. When you give a reporter with a camera and mic, or maybe to report print media, the problem is they don't know what the technicality is. This is basically a technical issue. Water conflict, water reporting is a technical issue in Pakistan, but all the reporters want to report water issues because it makes headlines. But again, I told you, not more than 4 or 5 journalists are reporting water issues. And then we have, there is no media content analysis, research is missing, and water conflict has become very, very sensitive political issue. So we need to report very sensitively and very carefully, but this is the problem, how to report it at both sides. I told you very few journalists are reporting this issue, and then we have conflict reporting is more based on state patriotism than professionalism. So these are the problems we are facing in these days, and people are being fed official information. Regarding Indus Water Treaty, I have my own opinion on this, that regarding Indus Water Treaty reporting issues between Pakistan and India, we always receive an official opinion on this issue. And from India, I don't know, I met some of the Indian journalists in Islamabad, in India as well. They said water reporting is rare here. It's not a common phenomenon in Delhi. So we don't have more journalists reporting on water issues. Maybe event-based reporting is a different thing, but proactive stories and follow-up stories, investigative stories is missing. In Pakistan, we always receive one-sided opinion about of Indus Water Commissioner or the Ministry of Water and Power. There is no other opinion because we don't have data, we don't have access to data, we don't have access to information at both India and Pakistan. So this is a problem. We cannot investigate on this issue, though I have been researching on this issue since very long. So I know lots of issues on Indus Water Treaty as well, but the problem is how to report and get information. And then again, you see how media is involved in this issue, in this dispute, that we have two big groups, Nawabakt and Khabre group, two media groups, have filed a petition from the editor in the Supreme Court of Pakistan to start building Karabakh Dam. So look at this problem, how media is involved into it, and all partisan, and hurting the feelings of another province, people from other side. So this is the media, how it is dealing with this issue. Despite reporting professionally, they are doing all these things. And then media campaign on build Karabakh Dam, I told you it was a failure. Mainstream media not ready to reflect opposition opinions, whatever the truth is, whatever the history tells you, and keeping in view the Indus Water Treaty, keeping in view the recent water record of 1991. This is the problem. And I have to now just 2 minutes I'll take. This is the conclusion level of, another aspect of this in Sindh, especially because Sindhi media is reporting very aggressively on this issue. The level of awareness among its audience is very high. I mean, number of people here that don't know about MF, abbreviation of MF, it's million acre foot, but a commoner in province of Sindh may know what is MF is, and what is Sindh's right is, and what is the share of Sindh in water distribution. And then, but the problem is, now the problem in Sindhi media has reached a point of no return. They cannot change their opinion. Now what happened, I'm giving you one example. In Musharraf regime, General Musharraf started to offer millions of rupees of ads to Sindhi papers.